Well, unfortunately, what we seem to have got is more fail and less science. Built what I thought was going to be a nice built rocket, checked the Delta V, should have enough to get me up into a low kerbal orbit, everything should go wonderfully, attach the rocket engines on the side, attach the struts that I needed to test for the decouplers, and everything seemed to be going smoothly. Unfortunately, what I did forget to remember was the fact that because I'd stuck engines on the side, the engines took into account the fact that the Delta V calculations. So heading up nice and smoothly, everything looks happy, Jeb looks ecstatic as usual. I don't know what he has to do to make that Kerbal actually not look happy, but hey. Start my gravity turn, everything's still going nicely, just realising though, however, I'm running massively out of fuel. There goes the side systems onto my main engine, which also drops. Now, the idea was to be able to try and test the side engines, but didn't have anywhere near enough speed to be able to test them properly. I'm getting better on my orbits at least. I'm trying to make it as circularized as possible. So off we go, trying to circularize. And realise that the delta V that I've got for this burn is nowhere near enough for delta V that I've got. Try it anyway, you never know. But in order to get into orbit, oh yeah, that was me firing off the wrong set of decouplers, because those are the ones I was supposed to fire off in orbit, not suborbital. I put the wrong ones on. Well, they weren't the right ones, just the wrong way around. And here you see my problem. Not circularize the orbit, have to dump the side thrusters, which I was trying to get. So all I'm left with is eventually my return craft, which luckily, can return. There's the whole point of this little engine on the top as well, which also goes into delta V calculations. Must remember not to basically work out how much delta V that engine provides and take it out. I mean, Kerbal Engineer does it all for you, I just sort of forgot to do it. So back down we go towards the planet. Burn off the last of my fuel to slow us down, because why wouldn't you? Deadly re-entry means that you don't want to be going anything approaching fast when you hit the atmosphere. It's all pretty... I do love the effects, but yeah, getting good with deadly re-entry. This time remembering actually that parachutes are a very good thing. Deploying them pretty much as soon as I drop below 200 meters per second. The good news about this is because I did get into a natural orbit, we did manage to get the science, well, no, it's mostly the money for completing the orbit one. And a bit of science just from over here against the grasslands, a nice flag to commemorate our fail. But overall, it was a complete disaster. We just about managed to get enough money back from the mission to pay for the rocket, which is good because it basically means I can try again with a better system, recovering the vessel for the actual science. Take 2. Welcome back. I've made this rocket even taller, which really is starting to worry me about how huge this rocket is. Increased my delta V and taken off the silly engines on the side, because at the moment they're actually causing a hindrance. So we're going to try and go for our testings of launching radial decouplers in space. Also now have the Science Junior managed to have just about enough science to get that, which means at least I should be able to get some more science. And I now have batteries, which will really help me, because, it means I don't run around with just 50 electrical charge and no solar panels. I do so miss having solar panels. So, Jeb, take 2. This time we will get you into orbit, and we will get more science, and we will complete missions and earn money. We hope, at any rate. If all else fails, at least we have the emergency separatron system, which I don't even know if it works, but I don't want to find out at the moment. Maybe I should have done a test with just that, just to make sure that it works. That is a huge rocket. But it flies, he says, just about. Woohoo! There is enough SAS to keep it stable. I am actually amazed. This is an impressive launch, Captain. Jebediah Kerbal is quite happy travelling up. This time we will pay attention to which decouplers are which, because one of them's suborbital and one of them's orbital, and we will make it work. And I'll also try and do a slightly more efficient gravity turn this time, which should also hopefully help saving some of my delta V, because this is kind of cutting it close, considering the little deorbiter stage on top can't really use much of its fuel. Don't flip, don't flip. Yeah, there's 4 big non-gimbaled engines on the bottom. Lots of thrust, not a lot of control. I think I actually made this go too fast. But hey, we're about to burn out the main 4 engines, which will give me back my control in a minute. Out they burn. Right, decouple. We now have proper control. Apoapsis is heading up. Suborbital trajectory 71,084. I need 88. More power! More power! And a little bit over because we're still in atmosphere. Right. 90 odd thousand. We can do this. Achieve an orbit. 8693, it's a lot more circular. So you want to suborbital trajectory at 71,000. Which means those are that one. The TT-38s are my next stage to go. We're doing a lot better this time, aren't we? 71,800 TT-38s, next one to go. You are a TT-38. Testing. Testing complete. We earned some money, Jeb. Not as much as I wanted, but we earned some money. Alright, next one requires us to be in orbit. Also requires that the SAS will slowly let us turn around. Gently does it. Gently does it. This thing has basically no delta V left, but we will burn what we can. And get us into what is hopefully a stable orbit. We'll send him around the planet and try and get him to land back at KSC. That's the plan. We'll see how well it goes, of course. Second stage. This is going much, much better. I'm actually achieving a stable orbit. We hope, but we will be. May even have enough to kick us into a high orbit just to get even more science. It wobbles a little bit, but at least the engine is gimbaled. We have orbit. Testing radial decouplers Mark 70. Firing. Well, that earns pretty much the system back that we originally had, so time to get some science out of this. A whole 15 science. We'll take it. Right, can I kick us into a high orbit? Which, if I remember correctly at this, is 250. Let's go for it. It's only a 4-second burn. 120 delta V, we can do that. I better be right. Well, if not, we can keep expanding. As long as I have my little fuel tank on the lander left, we can carry on. As long as we have power, which we do. Batteries are so useful for trying to get into space. Isn't that a beautiful shot of Kerbin coming round? As we disappear into the dark side. And all the cities light up. Okay, kicking into high orbit. Let's see if I'm right. 289. Of course, now it's under litter the place with debris with that. Decouplers. It's always a problem when you're running space flights, isn't it? Right. We're at 270. Are we in another zone of science? We are. Keep data. Observe mystery goo. We'll have that. And it also means Mr. Jeb can go EVA. Hanging on the side of his spaceship. For some reason, I need more ladders on these things. People will just... Kerbal tend to fall out of them. Right, should be approaching apoapsis soon, which means I need to work out the best time to deorbit. We want to try and find... where I put the flag. I thought you could see them from space. Right, KSP Launch Center is all around there just before terminus. Okay. Orbital 1, fly. We're going to aim to land back there. So as we want to hit... There we go, now we can see the flag. Somewhere around there. We aim... Where's my periapsis? Let's go with that. I'm not. This is something I'm not quite so good at doing. So we're gonna try and see how well we do. Time warp across the beautiful planet. Ooh, we might have missed that window. But only just. Right, we are now suborbital. Which also means I have a lot of fuel I can burn off. Because they're not going to survive re-entry. I really need to start making some reusable rockets here, don't I? I have a feeling... Whereabouts are we? Oh no, next landmass are over. I don't want to burn off too much of this. Drop that. This is going to rapidly fall towards us. The only thing that worries about me is my speed, because I usually just burn to slow myself down whilst in high atmosphere, just to, you know, make sure I don't blow up, considering the heat shield is only on the science, which means the engine and fuel tank could theoretically still explode. Why is this engine so offset? The other ones are fine. This one does not like it. Maximum braking we can. That's the island we want. If we can get there, and get there in one piece. I've gone too far. Can I accelerate forward briefly? No. Revert back that way. Watch the temperature climb. 900. There goes the other engines exploding. Where did they go? Ah, missed them exploding. 1,000, but it is starting to slow down. I've gotten much better at my entries. No explosions here. We are going to have probably land on the water at this rate. Ah, we missed the launch center. Keep that intact. Might as well try and recover it. Back down below sound. As we're coming in for a nice, theoretically gentle landing. Wait for the speed to drop below 200. Below 200, deploy parachutes. Parachutes fully deployed. A nice gentle 6.2 meters per second. We shouldn't explode. Well, there was a more successful flight. We achieved our corporation goals. And there's a bit of money. And hopefully quite a bit of science. Nothing fell off. Recover vessel. How much science are we up to? Come on, give us a good number. Give us a good number. 47. It's not too bad. Money, about where we started. We're breaking even. This is what we like. Next time, please join us. We're going to attempt, well, if I'm lucky, the next big thing to try and do is get to Mun. I'll see you there for that.